What is up, world? Today we have Bret Fadley of Fadley's Auto Masters in Pennsylvania, somewhere in the York County area. I don't know where York. Oh, it's not York County. It's the city of York in Pennsylvania. I'm exposing my ignorance. But anyway, Bret is also the driving force, or has been the driving force behind Tools PA, which you may have heard about on some of the forums and some of the other podcasts. I'm excited to be going to Tools this year for the first time ever. Brian's going as well. All the cool kids will be there. Of course, you'll be there too, I'm sure. We had a good time chatting, and I hope you'll really enjoy it. On with the show.
The following program features a bunch of doofuses talking about the automotive aftermarket. The stuff we or our guests may say do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of our peers, our sponsors, or any other associations we may have. There may be some spicy language in this show, so if you get your feelings hurt easily, you should probably just move along. So without further ado, it's time for Confessions of a Shop Owner with your host, Mike Allen.
Real quickly, give us a plug for your podcast that's in the background there.
So Central PA Pour, a little podcast we've been doing for about 3 years, talking about the craft beer industry here in PA and beyond. Little fun adventure, and I'll drink to that. Cheers.
Heck yeah.
Cheers. How many episodes in are you? I ask as you take a drink.
We're creeping up on 100.
Wow, that's awesome.
Not many.
You just told me that you had one where you had 4 different brewery reps in at the same time.
4 home brewers. Yeah, that was a long episode.
We
had a good time.
All got very, very well lubricated.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. That was
That's
fun.
what I'm talking about.
I mean, we went through the first couple, and it's like, well, we got all these beers. I'm like, all right, let's just clear the table and load them up. And we did. I will tell you, the one guy brought a key lime pie sour. So if you're not a sour beer guy, I understand. I mean, I can drink some, but this key lime pie sour was to die for. You got that tartness of the key lime up front. The graham cracker kind of settled in on the palate, and at the end, as you drank it, the vanilla came, the vanilla of the creaminess came through.
Beer people flavors. And whiskey people are so sophisticated. And I'm like,
you just want to drink it.
I had like 3 glasses of Jack Daniels, and it tasted good up front, and then on the back end, my face went numb, and it was great.
It got all warm and fuzzy, didn't it?
Yeah, I could headbutt my way through a stockade fence after a 40 of that.
How do you make a beer taste like key lime pie?
That I have yet to figure out. It's some of the adjuncts you put into it, like, you know, he either use like real lime juice or squeeze limes into the fermenting process of it. I have no idea. Don't ask me. I can make a beer, but don't ask me to add all that. Now, my last one was just my vanilla bourbon stout, which turned out really good. I want to barrel age that sometime.
I was going to say, is your beer good beer?
Yeah. I actually had one beer that we brewed with one of our guests, and they put it on their tap, and they called me this year. They want to do it again. And then I got 2 other breweries that want to brew 2 of my recipes.
Nice. I had some of these beer once. It was pretty good.
And so, hey, if you're coming to Tools in the hospitality suite, we're going to have a craft beer experience. We're going to have 2 beers on tap. One or 2 are going to be mine. I'm going to brew it, come up with a recipe with Justin Allen.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I'll take my...
Oh, we got to think about names for it.
Headhunter.
Come up with a name. Yeah.
Hunter. Something Hunter.
Yeah, Headhunter.
Well, okay, so let me give you a little background on my home brewing name. It's Essex Home Brewing because I live on Essex Road, and Essex is an old English town. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I stick with a lot of English styles and English names. But the IPA that we're going to brew is, so think of that. Think of like, how about Fox Hunter? That's what they do in England, don't they?
Sure.
I mean, yeah. I like that.
And
Fox
complain
Hunter
about losing the war.
Yeah.
Did you just make a reference about World War II? Is that what I heard?
No,
I don't think it was World War II, Mike. I think it was the Revolutionary War.
And wait, 1812, we kicked their butt too.
Hey, so anyway, I've been recording for like 7 minutes now.
I see that.
And we're here with.
I just want to make sure, when are we starting? So
we started 7 minutes and 27
seconds. A little too late to do the right thing now.
Yeah, true story.
Just want to make sure I don't fucking swear too much.
Don't worry, it'll be all right. We'll my mother and my wife have both come to me separately and told me that they can't listen because I curse too much. And I just realized how much I filter when I'm around my mother and my wife, which is not a bad thing, right? But
no, that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, I cursed a fairly large amount in my regular life.
My wife will look at me like, dude, you realize that not everybody likes to hear all that? I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
I was at my son's tennis match today, as you guys know.
Oh, boy.
Which is why I was late to get to the recording, which is what led to shenanigans that happened before I hit play. It's neither here nor there. But my son and I were standing there watching one of the late matches go. It was in a tiebreaker, and one of the other fathers was standing there with us. And I had a temporary brain disconnect. This father is also the soccer coach for my son at the high school. And I was talking to my son about he didn't play today because his wrist was injured. And he could have played if he had been tough about it, but he chose not to. And so he was saying to me, he said, man, I really wish I had played today. I feel like I could have beat that kid. And I said, well, if you weren't being such a bitch, maybe you would have. And the soccer coach at our private Christian school that my kids go to, just kind of looked at me and slowly walked away. Like, oh.
Were you like, I've been in a group chat with Dutch all week, I can't help it?
Oh my God. You know, there are a few things in life that bring me as much joy as watching you and Jim Kokona spin Dutch up into a tizzy.
I'm a terrible person. I'm a terrible person.
Hey, so Mike, I brought something for you.
Oh my God. No. So the Velo party at Vision, like bright flashing lights in a dark space just drive me crazy. It's like, I don't have seizures, but I feel like I should be having a seizure. And so it was like a dimly lit bar, right? Mm-hmm. But they had 3 or 4 of those strobing light things on every table around the bar.
Oh,
and
boy.
I'd come to a table and I'd just turn them all off quietly. And then Bret would follow me over to a table and he would turn them on all on and wave them around in front of my face. So he took a couple home with him so that he could.
I did.
Meanwhile, you're battling motion sicknis for your life because the lights are flashing everywhere and they're moving, and you just want to.
Mike, who's your daddy?
I literally just got a cold chill with that. Ugh, I hate that.
So you told me I had to wear jackets, right?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, that's a pretty high. Your button's done.
I think
that Tanika has declared that I have to wear a jacket at the expo to go along with
I support this.
And Jimmy Lee, and who else is doing it now?
Oh, geez, Matt Lufke, Joe Schindler had a jacket on, and I know Chris Cloutier keeps saying he wants to get in on it. It's spreading, man. It's spreading. People are getting in on it.
Ridiculous attire at industry events.
So when I went to,
spectacular attire at industry events.
It was funny. I was in Rick White's class about the retention, how to retain your A team. And he was talking about the different personalities, like the steamroller, the hugger, and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And he got to the hugger. Now I'm sitting in the front row, and I asked him, "Should I sit here or should I move back?" And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Well, it might blind you." And he got to the hugger, and he's like, they dress flamboyant. Everybody just started laughing because I was like, "That's me."
All right. We have to get on focus. One of the pieces of feedback that I get on a semi-regular basis is the reason I like your podcast so far is because you at least make a concerted effort to stay on some type of focus and on subject. And we don't have a subject that we're talking about. We've just been totally bullshitting this whole time. What are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, we got tools coming up. How about why you cannot afford not to attend these events?
It works. Well, first tell me about tools. I've never been. I'm coming for the first time this year.
Yeah, I finally got you guys to convince to come up.
It's in
So
Lancaster
Tools,
this year, right?
Lancaster, PA. Tools stands for technicians and owners on learning strategies.
If you're like me, you know there's always hidden revenue in missed maintenance sales or overlooked customer concerns. Detect Auto helps auto shops unlock that revenue by analyzing vehicle service histories, pinpointing maintenance recommendations, and equipping advisors to confidently address customer questions. It's easy, it integrates with your existing software, and your team will love it. Check out detectauto.com and see how your shop can stop guessing and start selling better service recommendations today.
In the last year and a half, I guess we've turned the event around. So we're trying to make it a premier training event like ASTA has become in the Southeast. We're trying to turn tools into that kind of a structure up here where you can get training for your entire shop, front to back. Technicians, all levels, service advisor, front desk, owners, managers. So, and incorporate that with a trade show. And we got some of the premier trainers. Mr. Brian and Jim will be doing a class up there, the same one they did at ASTA with it tweaked a little bit, correct?
Yeah, we got some stuff we might swap in and out.
So we got some high-end trainers coming in. Just coming back from Vision, I got a lot of positive feedback. Registration is open by the time this episode comes out, I'm assuming.
I think it's coming out Tuesday. No, we got you coming out on the 18th. So that's Tuesday, I think.
Yeah,
Tuesday is the 18th.
So registration will be open. You can go to midatlanticaca.org/tools. And you can go there and see all the sessions. You can sign up and get your staff there. Bring your team. That's the best thing to do, is to encourage and bring your whole staff to a training event.
I've attended tools a couple times now. Let's see, two.
You came to the first one when we were trying to rejuvenate the image of what tools was
When it was at
Kalahari.
And then you switched it to the spring, and I went to that one. And it has all the big trainer names that you're used to seeing at all these big shows. A whole bunch of them there.
And we've expanded on it for this year.
And it's a very intimate setting. What did you have registered last spring? Now that was the year that you switched from fall to spring, right? So it was only a 6-month spread between shows.
Right. 6 months. So we left October of 23. We had 115 at that show. And last year we had 150 some registered, 200 total attendees. I'm hoping to double it again in May.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the volume of chatter that I hear about it online in the forums and sitting around the bar at Vision, what's the next thing everybody's going to do? Everybody's going to be at tools.
I'm not going to take all the credit, but I did put a hell of a lot of work in to rejuvenate that tools program. It took a lot of work last spring. When this all started, it became because the executive director resigned and threw it on us and said, "Hey, I'm done." And we had to have it at the Kalahari. We were contracted. My goal was to get through October of that year of 23 and just cut the ties and let it go. But we turned around. We had 52 people at Tools 2022 in October. In October of 23, we had 115.
So you just double every year. You're going to be
I had 32 people, 32 vendors. Yeah, 32 vendors show up. And we put a lot of effort in. I never ran a training event, never at all. This was thrown in our lap. I spent a lot of time on the phone and schmoozing and brown nosing.
Yeah, I think it's a challenge to have that many vendors there with, so few people, to keep them feeling appreciated and like it's worth it for them to come back. But obviously you succeeded in that. So good work there, sir. I think I don't want to take credit away from your hard work, because it was remarkable watching what you were doing. I think some kudos should go to Lucas and David too, because I think they
helped promote the shit out of it. They did.
Yeah, and they really were a great voice for your event. So
they were. if it wouldn't have been for those guys, we probably wouldn't have had 115 people there in October of 23. We probably wouldn't have had 53 people there in October of 22.
It's one of the few commendable things I've ever seen Lucas do. Anyway, so let's go back and talk about your shop for a little bit. Tell me about your shop.
5 bays. Well, it's 4 service bays, the alignment rack, which we use as a service bay. I have 3 techs, a service writer, which was my lead tech, who I moved up to service writing in December.
How's that working out?
He's learning. Though, long story short, thank goodness I did that in December, because he is the one that wants to be my successor in the business. So this was my first step to introduce him to this side of the industry. To see if he has what it takes to be a shop owner. If, this was just to start showing him the management side. So my service advisor at that time quit a week before I left for the summit. So thank goodness I brought Cody up to start showing him so I could still go to the summit. Otherwise, I'd have had to cancel that whole trip because I'd have been the one having the right to and talk to the customers.
So I know there are a lot of techs who are moving towards the end of their wrenching career and who say, I'm just going to go up front and write service or, become a manager or something to that effect. I've not met many career technicians who made good service advisors with the late career change over. Getting them to stop diagnosing over the phone and stop impressing customers with how much they know and give away their knowledge, or second guessing the technicians. So I'll be interested to see how he works out as an advisor. He might be a great manager or owner, but a terrible advisor. I don't know.
I'd be great at not diagnosing over the phone. I am not saying a damn thing about the car until I get paid. Not interested.
I had 2 people call today, and they wanted, they're just calling around. Actually, one guy came in my front door. He drives a BMW. And he physically first said, I'm going around to see what this was going to cost me. I'm like, well, first off, he said, I know it's a rear main oil seal. I said, well, all right. We have to bring it in and evaluate.
Go to Harbor Freight, get the tools and do it, bro.
Yeah. I said, we got to evaluate it, make sure we know what we're getting into. Then we can properly estimate the job for you. Well, what's that going to cost me? He said, well, anywhere from $100 to $200, depending on how much time it is for us to evaluate your problem.
As Rick White would say, as much as possible. As much as I can get you to pay me.
Possible.
BMW, broke man walking, bring money with you.
That's a Jeff Comptonism, right? How much should I charge for X? As much as humanly possible. Jeff's been saying that since 2014. He's 11 years into saying that on the internet. I think everybody stole it from him.
Hey, isn't this confessions, right?
Yes.
I do have a confession.
Ooh.
My man.
Nice.
Wait. Before you give the confession, listeners, if you have fucked something up at your shop recently, I want to hear about it. Call and leave me a voicemail, and if it's epic enough, we will play it on the air like we did with our lovely voicemail about Lucas and David not long ago. But 704-CONFESS. That's 266-3377. 704-266-3377. Call and tell us what you fucked up, and make sure you leave us your name and where your shop is. It'll be good fun. Okay, now.
And if you're really funny, we might even have you on.
True story.
Or if you want to talk a lot of shit, we'll have you on too. That's fine too.
All right, give it to us, baby.
All right, so my confession is I just got back. I attended Vision for my first time. Mm-hmm. I come back. I can't sleep and realize I don't know shit. I'm screwing everything up.
It's okay. You just started, man. You're only like 2 years in.
Oh, yeah. I'm only 2 years in. I'm 9 years away from quitting. It was funny. So I took Rick White's class, and he had talked about a program that I guess Amazon says could pay to quit. So you're trying to find out those who are just there for the money or those who are in for the long haul. Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting concept.
Hey there. I'm going to tell you about something that has completely transformed how I run my shop, TechMetric. As a 20-year shop owner, outdated systems used to slow us down. Everything was clunky, from check-in to estimate building to customer updates. It all felt just super inefficient. Switching to TechMetric has changed everything. With TechMetric, you get a powerful shop management system that includes DVI, quick and easy estimate building, inventory management, real-time reporting, amazing customer communication, and it's really easy for your employees to learn how to use the software. I'm talking like a one-day learning curve. On top of that, TechMetric has tons of other tools to make you an even better operator. Stuff like integrated payments with buy now, pay later options is a huge asset. Ask me how I know. And recently, they've added a CRM component with their partnership with Shop Genie, which I'm a happy Shop Genie customer already. So I'm super excited about that. Now, obviously, there are a lot of factors at play here, but I want to give you some facts about my business since I made the change to TechMetric. In September of 2020, when I switched to TechMetric, my ARO was $293. In September of 2024, we were $916. That's over 300% growth. Now, I'm not saying that TechMetric created all of that change, but I'm 100% saying that I couldn't have come this far without TechMetric. It's a key factor in our growth and success. If you're ready to level up your shop, TechMetric has everything you need: productivity, revenue, customer experience. Measure up by every measure with TechMetric. Tap the link in the show notes to learn more.
So I asked him, I said, so what happens if I go back and introduce this pay to quit program and I'm the one that takes the money?
That's going around, man. Nobody feels like going to the shop lately. It's everybody.
Well, so it's been, February was bad across the country for almost everyone.
Yeah, I had a pretty low February compared to last year, but I had a record January, so kind of offset.
You know, one of my stores was down significantly in February. One of them was even, like within $1,000, and one of them was up $80,000. But I was also open 5 more days, so that'll do it. If I hadn't been open those 5,
Wasn't a leap year.
I'm open on Saturdays now in that store.
Yes. So when he brags about his 20% increase in
28
total revenue,
28%
increase in total revenue, but he's open 20% more days, has 10% more payroll, and inflation's 8%. He doesn't realize he's 2% behind last year, but that's
all I know is that the dollars in gross profit is significantly more.
Okay, that works for me.
I don't like the percentages.
And that's one thing. I mean, I've been looking at all those numbers. That one class I sat in, it was Shop Fixed It. I forget what it was, how to get 20% net down there at Vision. And he told us how to figure out, all right, let's figure out your bottom gross profit dollars that you need every hour. I'm like, I'm just used to watching the numbers and figuring it out, letting the computer figure it out. Here's my gross profit dollars. But he said, here's the formula to figure out what your bottom line is, and make sure that gross profit dollars is above that bottom line.
So can I repeat what I think that process is, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong?
I'd have to look at my notes, but go ahead.
So you take your average to figure out your gross profit per hour break even. It's your average monthly expense divided by your average monthly hours produced, right?
That's correct.
And then to get to 20%, you just back into what the 20% would need to be. So I don't know the formula for that, but ChatGPT does. And that tells you what your GPH needs to be to get to 20% net.
Dude, my head was spinning. Sunday night, I was telling Brian before we got on, it's like I didn't get home till like 11 o'clock. Went tired, fell asleep for about 30 minutes, and I was up to like 3. Came home Monday, I was tired, fell asleep for 30 minutes, got up until 3 o'clock. I was just like, man, my head just was, there's too much going on with tools, the coming together of the two associations, all that stuff I got from Vision, everything I want to accomplish in the shop. And then when I get in there, time management's my worst enemy. I just got too much going on when I'm in at the shop. So I need to go in on my days off, like Fridays, because we're on a 4-day work week, and just no phones, no employees, no customers, no nothing. I can concentrate. I can't do it from home. I get too many distractions here at home.
So I'm the opposite. I get way more work done when I'm in this room than I do when I'm at my office at the shop, because there's always somebody walking in that wants to talk or visit, or a customer that comes in. I haven't seen you in
I've
years.
actually
Or
rearranged my how my work area is set up, and I'm a little bit boxed in now, and I've noticed that I'm able to work uninterrupted longer.
if
It's
people
been
can't see you,
yeah, it's been pretty
They can't
interesting.
see Brian. Come on.
I bought a big toolbox because I'm not a very good technician, so I bought a really big toolbox.
compensating much?
Yep, compensating. So I have a wall that some people would be jealous of, that I can hide behind a little bit, and then it like kind of comes around the side a little bit, and I'm kind of like tucked in a little.
So
It's working pretty nice.
Two things I want to say real quick. One about compensating with a big toolbox, but first, you're talking about time management and how big of a weak spot that is for you. At the Ignite 2025 event, Jim Murphy, who is the original facilitator of my 20 group, had a big presentation about time management and managing screen time and device productivity and different tools you can utilize to create habits for more effective time management and less time wasting. And there are shelves and shelves of books written about this, right? Obviously it's a problem, but that was an hour and a half lecture that I came away with 3 pages of notes, and I haven't done that in years at an event.
Wow.
That was super awesome. So if you get a chance to see Jim Murphy talk, and he doesn't come to a lot of these events and speak, he'll be at a lot of events just as an attendee, but it's pretty hard to get him to speak at an event. Man, make time to be in the room when that dude does a presentation.
Well, Kim Arnheimer's coming up to Tools. She's going to do a time management class.
Good.
On,
good.
I think it's Sunday morning or Saturday morning. One of those two, she's going to do it. So Kim, she's going to do something on time management too.
Brian.
Yes, sir.
What's going on at your shop, man?
Busy.
Hey, has the heartbroken kid picked up his toolbox yet?
No, he came back to New York to grab some stuff, but his toolbox was not on the list, and he's headed back down to Florida.
Gonna say, is that the one I heard you guys talking about? He went to Florida.
Yeah, he's living the dream, man. I was just talking to a friend of mine this morning, and I was like, he's like, man, that kid's living the dream, ain't he? I said, he really is. You just pick it all up and go do anything else. So yeah.
So what's he doing then? What's he doing in Florida?
Looking for a job. He's, either going to be a cop, a pool boy, or work on a golf course. He doesn't know yet.
So have you made your 10 cents on the dollar offer on his toolbox and tools
yet?
I
was thinking about 5 cents on the dollar. I thought 10 was kind of strong. It's tough times. People ain't got a ton of money. They're going to have to take what they can get.
And you've got it at the shop.
Mike's witnessed my evilness on Facebook Marketplace buying tools, and there's a whole formula where you have to wait. You got to stalk the person, figure out where they work and what day they get paid on, and that's what day you make them the offer. You don't make them the offer the day they get paid on. But like if a guy doesn't get paid till Friday, you don't want to offer him on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. He's still got money, man. You got to wait till like Wednesday. You'd be like, hey, man, I'll give you what you got there for half of what you're asking for it.
Sunday night, they might be out of money.
Nah, these guys, man, they're like little camels. They can hold out. They carry extra. They got a little hump. They carry extra cash in or something. So high interest rates don't scare them. They'll charge stuff on their 19% credit card if they're out of money. I've seen them do it. So,
what's the interest rate on tool truck loans right now?
I think they're 19. Unless you're a shop owner, you get 6 months same as cash.
I had some of the financing options that the shop offers. It's like 6 months 0 interest, 12 months 0 interest, whatever. Right. But if you carry any balance beyond the zero interest period,
They whack you on
it
the whole
goes to
thing.
the maximum allowable by law interest rate retroactive for the original whole balance.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Something
I
ridiculous.
have 3 financing options. The Napa card, which is backed by Synchrony, so it's a 6 months. I don't know for the 12 because it costs me more money.
Are,
I got
you're an auto care center, right?
I'm an Auto Care Gold.
Are you going to Vegas for the now?
Lottie.
Why
Nope,
not, man?
I didn't have time because I went to the Summit and I went to Vision, so I couldn't swing all 3.
And you got to come to the expo, right?
What's that?
You're coming to the expo, though, right?
ASTA?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I bring my whole staff down there.
Yeah. Okay.
So those are the 2 events I will take my entire staff. Is ASTA and I make them go to Tools. Because it's my fault.
Look, here's the deal. I like to think that I'm pretty good at running an auto repair shop. It's what I've done for 20 plus years, but I'm not good at managing a marketing budget and all the different facets of a truly well-rounded marketing plan. There's mail, there's local advertising, there's website, there's Google AdWords, there's all the different things that go into that, and it's just not what I'm good at. So what I've chosen to do is to buy myself the time to focus on what I am good at while having someone else execute on all of those things at a way higher level than anything I could ever do. That's what turnkey auto marketing does for me. So if you feel like you could use some of that same magic, I'm going to recommend that you go to turnkeyautomarketing.com, get a free consultation, tell them that I sent you, tell them that Confessions of a Shop Owner sent you. You won't be disappointed.
Vision, I couldn't afford to take the entire team to Vision. Not yet.
Yeah.
I got a hold of Zeb today about going to Tools. And he's on the fence, but he counter offered me. He told me that he'll go to Tools if I go on Carm Cruise. And I was
the
like,
Carm Cruise.
Yeah. And I'm like, 3 kids, cruise, December. That sounds like a lot of work.
Wait. When is this Carm Cruise?
December 2025.
It's Christmas?
No, not Christmas Day.
It's funny. We were down there. I just met Zeb and got to know him at Vision, sitting there talking to Keith Perkins and that. And he's like, God damn, you're going to make me come to Tools, aren't you? I'm like, oh, I got to.
He told me he's already feeling peer pressure.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's feeling the pressure.
Where the heck?
I mean, that's what's fun about going to these events. Yeah, I do. You will learn stuff out of training. There's no doubt about it. You'll take tidbits here and tidbits there. The networking opportunities. I wouldn't have got to know any of you guys or anybody else from not attending these events and asserting myself into your lives. Like, hey, this is me.
Right. I mean, that's a great point, though. I mean, what you learn. There's a lot of what's learned at the bar at night. I'm not saying you got to be getting drunk to do that, but I mean, just hanging out. There's a lot of little tidbits of information that you pick up on that tend to be pretty darn valuable sometimes, certain situations somebody's been through, all sorts of stuff.
It's networking's key in every aspect of life. It truly is. When you run into an issue, you can call somebody that that they've already either experienced and have figured out what they did and get their experience and learn from it.
Absolutely.
I would say that there are some people who are nervous to go to that setting at these events because they're naturally shy, or they're there by themselves and they don't know anybody, or maybe they're not a drinker and it feels weird to hang out at a bar when you're not a drinker. Get out of your comfort zone. Get a club soda. It's just water with a lime. Nobody will bother you.
Everybody's very easy to talk to.
That's I have yet to meet anybody that's standoffish. Everybody in this industry that I've met so far, and this goes back to when my parents were involved with the association, and we used to go to they were conventions. They weren't training events. They were convention association. Like ASA had those big conventions. But nobody was ever standoffish, and it wouldn't have progressed our business along if Dad didn't have all those networks opportunities. You get to meet people from across the country and Get out of your, like you just said, Mike, get out of your little world and step outside the box.
Those conversations are where you start to really, I mean, you learn a lot in class. There's no doubt. There's no doubt you learn a lot in class, but maybe you're one of those people, this isn't your first day. You've taken all the technical training. You've taken all the shop management training. You've taken, all the training, right? And even then, you're going to go take a class on something you think you know, and you're still going to take something away from it. But after the classes, at the dinner table, at the bar, at this little event, at the casino night, you name it, is where you really find out all the sorts of things that you don't know that you wish you knew before. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot you can learn just from talking to people and their experiences.
Well, just in our industry alone, you come to these events, there is a ton of knowledge in these rooms. A ton of knowledge.
Yep.
I mean, I know everything, but
me too.
Know enough to know that you know everything, right?
Yeah. Know enough to know when I shut the hell up and get to just listen. All right, I'm making a jacket exchange.
I'm getting my I have a little confession. I'm getting my balls absolutely kicked in by a Dodge EVAP problem right now, and I'm kind of like Mr. EVAP. I'm like,
well, I mean, so can I give you a piece of advice on something like this?
Freaking HP tuner that thing right out of there.
I mean, yeah, that's not what I was going to say. I was saying you should go to a Facebook group for automotive technicians and list all the parts you've replaced. And tell them the code, and then just say, what do you think it is?
I should probably start putting parts in.
Yeah. You haven't done that yet?
No, I'm just trying to get it to do two things the same way 2 times in a row, and we're me and this truck, we're going to have intense fellowship tomorrow morning. It's in the bay, it's ready, and it's not going to have a good time. I don't know if you know how it works at our place. I have one Moby Dick that I didn't fix, right? I have one, and I'm pretty sure it's crushed in a scrapyard, and if it wasn't, I would go buy it and fix it. But yeah, they don't leave not fixed. It might cost us a lot of money, but it's going to be fixed.
I have gotten over that problem. I no longer have the ego saying I have to be able to fix anything. I mean, I can't fix anything. I no longer have the ego to say that CarFix has to fix everything.
I have to fix this truck. You don't understand.
We had a guy call me today. He said he went to AutoZone and Advance, got the code, put an O2 sensor in it, and drove it. And the code went, well, what do you think it is? Oh, got it properly evaluated. Well, how much is that? Oh, minimum $200. We could be up higher. Well, what do you think I should do? I'm like, bring it in, schedule a reservation. We'll get you in. He kept asking me questions. I kept diverting it. I said, well, that's why there's proper testing and procedures for codes. It's just a GPS signal.
You know, Mr. Jones, anytime you're experiencing a check engine like that, it's really important to have one of my ASE certified technicians inspect that for you. I'm going to give you a complete written estimate at no charge. Is right now a good time for you to bring it in?
I think I recognize that verbiage.
Yeah. It's easy squeezy.
I was actually thinking of driving my truck to Fueling Connections. My check engine light's on right now. And I was hoping to get down there on one of them days where Mike runs his free oil change and get 2 birds stoned at the same time. And I do have the part. So after they confirm that it is bad, I will have them put that part in. But it only pays like 6/10. Don't try to highball me.
I know what I got.
I know what I got.
I'm taking tomorrow off. I'm staying home tomorrow. I might not stay home, but I'm not going to the shop tomorrow.
Dude, it's going around. I've talked to a couple people who are like just not feeling it this week.
Well, I mean, I guess it's going around, but it's not that. It's just that I'm drained, man. Traveling so much, and
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm dragging ass. So I'm fortunate that the guys are taking good care of things. You know, we had yesterday. It was like a perfect storm that our primary rack attack person
Mm-hmm.
had court. She was a witness for a thing.
Sure.
And then our two kind of rack attack advisors, the way the schedule had cycled, this is like once every now and then they're both off at the same time.
Oh my
So
gosh.
the entire rack attack crew was out. So Xander, who's my shop manager, ran the rack attack by himself, one man show.
Oh my gosh.
And they still managed to sell about $15,000, 14.8, 14.9
Nice.
on the day with one man in rack attack. I'm pretty happy with that. But he was dragging ass, man. I think his tongue was hanging out at the end of the day. So,
how many cars did he have to process? 15,
12.
16, 12?
Yeah.
12. That's a lot.
I mean, that's the one thing I've been trying to get my head around is like, okay, how can I, when the first time I heard it was down at ASTA, and I'm like, how can I do that in my shop with 3 guys?
You need more people. You can't with 3 guys.
So at that time, 2 years ago when I was down there, I had an apprentice. Thought, well, maybe just let him all do the DVIs, but that apprentice didn't work out.
We just hired another lube tech, and it was an always be hiring situation. And I'm just imagining what modified form of the rack attack that we could probably accomplish with, let's say, 2 guys versus, because we operate, I guess you would call it traditional, right? Where they get the car, they go through the car, it's not rack attack style where we have multiple people looking at multiple things. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, maybe we get the car evaluated in half the time with 2 guys. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I don't know that you need to change anything about your systems right now. You had 120 cars in the parking lot this morning.
We are parked down to the library right now. Yes.
I think
it's very stressful.
Let me back that up. I don't think that you need to give anything away, right? You don't need to be giving away testing or anything like that. You don't need to be an oil change whore if you got that many cars. I would say maybe it's time to raise your rates.
Yesterday morning, we raised the rate $10.
Good.
Yeah. We don't have expensive oil changes though.
I don't think you need to be that. I don't think you need to be that guy with a $300 oil change.
Yeah. We don't even have $100 oil change. I think we're like $70 or something like that. 70, $80 for a 5-quart synthetic.
Range anywhere from 80 to 120.
Yeah.
I kind of want it to be a package price where it's easy just to say, oil change is $80.
Yeah. And 90% of ours are like that. And then, if you get the BMW that needs the twin power turbo oil or something like that, obviously that's going to get billed out. However, it's got to get billed out. But I mean, 90% of our cars are, we carry probably 30 weights and grades of oil at the shop. So it's pretty easy to.
But no power steering fluid.
No, there is no power steering fluid. You old ass. Don't get me started.
I was asking about power steering fluid service machines. I was like, I don't need the big fucking cart on wheels that's going to take up a bunch of space. The shop is very tight on space. What's wrong with getting the tackle box style model so I can just throw it on a shelf when I'm not using it, right? And it was a group chat with Kokonis and Brian and Dutch. And it turned into this technical pissing match between...
It is not a technical pissing match. I don't know how you're going to flush the power steering in all these electric racks, Mike.
Well,
it's fucking 2025.
You notice
dude.
that I stepped back away from that conversation, and then y'all just joined battle over statistics about the the percentage of vehicles that are electronic versus hydraulic, and then the average age of the car and the fleet in service, and started naming cars from 15 years ago that had electronics.
One of the most popular vehicles, one of the most popular small SUVs American built ever sold was the Chevy Equinox, right?
What a shitty vehicle.
They made a couple million of those, right? Do you know in the US they never made one that had power steering fluid?
They're all electric steering.
Even the older ones. Now I need to be very clear. There are Canadian models that have an Ecotech with a power steering pump mounted to them, but you're not close to Canada, so that doesn't count for you.
Canada.
Another confession for you. I mean, it's nothing like being a service advisor and you recommend a power steering service on an electric steering car because you didn't do your research.
Well, some cars, like the Nissan.
I didn't do it.
The Nissan Pathfinder and Jeep Grand Cherokees have electric over hydraulic, so you can have an electric power steering motor and hydraulic power steering fluid.
I have a BG steering service machine, so.
I heard Mike's actually has an attachment that connects right to the customer's wallet. You can hook right up to the wallet and flush it right out.
You gotta pay extra for that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's got the wallet attachment, so they can pay extra so easy.
So I was thinking about this, right? Because everybody jokes about the wallet flush thing, and I believe in extending service life of components by servicing regular interval.
I do agree. I will 100% say that I was having the wallet flush conversation, and I did a flush on a GM 8-speed like the day I was having the wallet flush conversation. Of course, my flush was due to a service bulletin and actually fixed an issue that was broken. It wasn't a preventative maintenance.
Yeah, and like we can joke about wallet flush, right? But let's seriously break down the math. Let's say, manufacturer X says that the power steering fluid on their system never needs to be serviced, and it doesn't because they don't need it to last more than 100,000 miles, right?
Well, and the reason they do that is so they score better on the initial cost of ownership, JD Power and Associates, right?
Yeah.
And I know all those that. My only goal in that whole conversation was to get Dutch going.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I did a great job, as usual.
But talking about math, let's say that your power steering service is, I don't know, $150, whatever that number is.
Sure.
And a power steering pump replacement with fluid service is $1,000. I have no idea. We're just pulling numbers in my ass. And if that power steering pump, if you never service it, is going to last 150,000 miles, and it'll cost $1,000 to put a new one in it, versus servicing it at 150 every 30,000 miles, then it makes sense to service it, right?
Sure.
So, is it a wallet flush, or is it maintenance to extend the life of the components?
It depends. It depends on the situation. There's no one answer, and I don't have a problem with power steering flushes. We used to power steering flush Fords all the time when the things, you could change the fluid all you wanted. It was a little Teflon additive that shut them up, but
that's the one thing you don't normally see in the services, power steering service. You should not see brake fluid service either. Now they're recommending brake fluid every 36 months.
Brake fluid service has advantages. Power steering fluid service has advantages. I don't care what anybody says, changing transmission fluid, whether they tell you to or not, has advantages.
What was it? When CVT first came out, it was sealed for the life of the vehicle?
Yeah.
For the life
now they're looking every 30,000 miles to service that fluid out.
I think Nissan's number is not 30,000. I think it's closer to 65. I don't know for sure, so I shouldn't say it. I don't know what their number is, but Nissan's transmission service is actually you replace all the fluid in a normal service because you actually change the fluid twice if you RTFM.
But who has time for that shit?
It doesn't take that long.
Yeah, most of them are not. They're not. They're just get your evac machine there and suck it out, put new fluid in it.
Yeah, the Nissan's got a drain plug.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
It's basically what they are. They're not flushes anymore. But that's what the consumer hears. They hear flush. That's what they want.
They only hear flush if you say flush. You don't say flush anymore, man. You say fluid service.
That's it. I haven't used the word flush in a long time. That's what I was getting at.
What are some other words that you've got?
Sometimes
we don't want to say diag either, or diagnostic.
Sometimes the flush machine is faster.
Test and evaluate. My appointments are called reservations. I don't use the word appointment anymore. I use the word reservation. Got that a couple years ago. So you think about it. What do you make an appointment for? Fucking pain. Doctors. Car repairs. What do you make a reservation for?
an enjoyable
Hotels.
experience.
Enjoyable, pleasurable things.
Automotive hospitality, Mike, is what you make a reservation for.
So are they customers or clients?
See, and that's dude. I'm older than you guys both, and back in the day, that was vice versa. You wanted a customer, not a client. Now it's different. Client is now what you want, not the customer.
It changes constantly, right?
It does.
Back in the day, it was timing belts. Then it was timing chains. Now it's timing belts again. Whatever.
I just want the money.
Yeah, that's it.
Evil
like you guys going back to your oil changes. So Cecil brought up in his class was, I haven't used the word oil change. It's a service. It's an oil service, and it differs. But he's like, try to go to a dealer. It's going to be either an A service or a B service you're going to get, and it's going to be 125, 150 bucks. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe I'll rechange my oil service to a level service or a B level service, tire rotation, blah, blah, blah.
And people will look at you like you're fucking crazy. They don't go to the dealer because they don't want to deal with that shit. They want an oil change.
Yeah, then go to Jiffy Lube, and you'll be coming back later because you forgot to put oil. They forgot to put oil in it because I had one just towed out last week.
Yeah, and they do 20,000 a week, and they fuck up 10 of them, and they're okay with that math.
Yeah, Yep.
But we remember the 10 and say that all they do is screw up vehicles.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just I look at the client or customers like, now you're the one that's got to pay for this.
Oh no, man! Jiffy Lube, they write checks. They ain't got no problem. All them places, all them oil change places, man. You take some pictures and you're like, hey, man, your guys are idiots, and their legal department's like, yeah, dude, we know. They pay us. They pay us to write checks for these idiots all week, man. It ain't no thing. They'll be like, how much you need? Is that the best you can do? All right, let me check with my supervisor. Okay, yeah, let us know when it's done. Yep, 16 grand. Okay. Yeah, this is no problem.
It was funny. I had a customer come in, client, however you want to say it. Now, down the street is another shop, and they've been around for 60 years. I've been almost 50. They're one of the shops that are what we call keeping the industry down as far as pricing. His customer comes up because it was a diag problem that they didn't want to deal with. So we dealt with it. And I estimated everything out that we found on the vehicle. Sent to DVI, talked to him about the estimate, blah, blah, blah. He asked me about the oil service. Well, how much you get? Well, I said, well, just by the way, what does he normally charge you? Because I'm not trying to steal his customer, because I know him for a long time. Mm-hmm. Like 30, 40 bucks. I'm like, damn, I got that in parts.
You don't have to use the right oil. And you can just wash the filter out and put it back in, right?
But it was funny, in Tech Metric, he left because that's how we communicated. All of a sudden, I get a picture of the DVI, and he's typing like, this must be part of their process and the pricing, blah, blah, blah. And I would try to call him right away when I seen it pop up. And he didn't answer, so I messaged him. And he replied back. He says, my goof, I was bragging about my experience at your shop because we're not used to that. He was trying to text a friend. So I wasn't trying. Maybe we have gained that by being transparent and creating that customer experience. You may be able to will some of these people away that are used to that lower end pricing to a more premier shop because of the experience you can create. And that's what we have to do. We have to create the experience and present the value for what we charge.
Yeah, we do that often. There's certain jobs where I'm going to want to use certain parts, and brand X might use a part that isn't known to be as reliable. And I say, hey man, this is what I do. I get these parts right from the dealer. They're more money, but you're not back on a tow truck because this clip came apart, because this blew out, this wasn't manufactured to specification, and it's better for everybody. And I mean, is there money to save? Yeah, but hey man, we're talking about $200 here on this big job. It's really not worth talking about in the long run if this thing wrecks something on your vehicle. Yeah, so
I get it. I mean, even though I'm a Napa Center, Gold Center, and Napa gets probably 80 to 90% of my business
Sure.
because I'm in gold.
Sure.
Quality of their products are going downhill too.
Well, it's everybody's.
Yeah.
It's everybody's, and you just got to be careful what you buy. You got to be
That was
careful
what
what you
some of
buy.
my people were doing. They were looking for the cheapest part for the customer and
Yeah.
availability.
Yeah.
And so we just had a radiator come back, and she didn't buy it. They didn't buy it through Napa, which I still get the backing of the labor.
Sure.
Now I got to eat that labor.
Mhm.
I get the part, but I got to eat the labor because they bought it from another supplier.
Right. Yeah, it's unfortunately, I would say that parts failure used to be one of those things that was very hard to deal with because you're like, I just put this new part in, so I must have misdiagnosed it, right? And now we've gone to an ideology when we put a new part in and the car doesn't work, like if we're confident in our testing, we're not even going back. We're like, get me a different part from somebody else.
Yep.
And it's a little sad it's gone to that. And there's a whole reason for that. And I won't put Mike to sleep with the technicalities of how the Bosch that you buy from the Volkswagen dealer is different than the Bosch that you buy from the aftermarket.
The NGK plugs are different when you on Amazon.
Well, definitely.
But not on Timo. They're genuine.
Give me some TMU injectors, baby.
That's that was the beginning of the end for Shop Owners Hangout. Was the Timo injectors
when I did the TMU injector?
Yeah.
Is that when did you see that somebody was on a Wednesday? Somebody started early. They must only work 3-day weeks. Somebody was trying to act like it was Friday on Wednesday in the auto shop.
Oh yeah, like somebody posted a picture of a naked lady or some stuff.
Oh man, and then there was
I think
that guy got hacked because I've seen his interactions, and he doesn't seem like the type of person that would do that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was.
I'm pretty sure he got hacked. But then there was somebody else posting something, and then did you see the guy? I actually, it was in Changing the Industry. I had to double check. I thought it was the Hangout, and I think he's serious. I don't think it's pretend. He's talking about the shop he's working for. Not everybody has a laptop, so like you have to wait in line to use the shop computer.
I did see that.
Yes.
So now they're talking about buying laptops and charging the technicians like $30 a pay period into the laptop.
Oh yeah, the dude posted anonymously because his service manager was in the group too.
Really?
Holy shit.
Well,
yeah.
I'm a moderator in Changing the Industry podcast, and I can see names. And I looked at his name, and I can assure you it was not a BS post. He is not the type of person that does that. He's been a very reliable source of information. And
the shop owner was suggesting that he's going to buy everyone a laptop for their toolbox and then dock their pay $30 a week for 2 years to pay it off.
Wait a second. What is he buying them?
I'm actually in the process of looking for new laptops for all three of my techs.
Don't do that, man. Go on Amazon and buy mini PCs.
Okay.
They're Windows 11.
Plenty good processors. $169.
Yeah, but the reason I want the laptop is it's portable. If they want to take it into the car, that's the reason I want it. They complain because the tablets are too small to see diagrams and stuff. The laptop's portable.
Wiring diagrams sometimes don't populate that great on a tablet. Like the all data diagrams are a ton better on a tablet than the Mitchell ones are. The Mitchell diagrams are terrible on a tablet.
I kind of like the Mitchell.
Yeah?
Because Mitchell, like I'm on Mitchell Protoman.
Yeah, Mitchell on a tablet makes me want to freaking jump off a cliff onto my face.
I will say, because we had both systems, and for a while, then I just stuck with Mitchell because it was it was more user friendly with the tile options and stuff rather than all data. And at that time, you could click on the wire and it would highlight and black out everything else.
Brett, I'm going to come down there and I'm going to teach your guys all data. I am a 20 plus year Mitchell user. I did not get all data till 5 years ago.
Didn't you?
And I was like, I am not going to use this all data. I've been using Mitchell for 20 years. I know how to use Mitchell. It's the best one out there. I don't freaking we aren't using that Mitchell Pro Demand. I think we got it's actually Snap-on. It's Shopkey. I ain't freaking using that Shopkey no more. The freaking search bar on Mitchell or All Data is unbelievable. The freaking
But then they changed because I'll tell you how long we were an All Data customer. I still actually have the big device where they used to send you the disc.
Oh, well, yeah.
I still have it. It's in my attic.
This is not like that.
I'm just saying, but then we went to the All Data Online. I want to see if All Data will buy it from me for their archive stuff. You know, hey, I got this big ass thing that we spent all this money on, and all the discs that we used to have to wait for updates.
I think at Tools, you will have a vendor there from All Data.
Should I bring it along?
Because
is he coming with AutoZone?
The Get in the Zone company is the ones who get with that guy. They'll put you on like 3 months of free usage, and like just tell one of your guys, listen, man, I know no technician anywhere likes change. I get it. Try to use this thing. Try to use it. Go out of your way to use it. Go out of your way to learn and understand how the stuff is categorized. And once you understand that, me and Jim actually had this conversation, and we spend way too much money on service info and subscriptions. We are not afraid to spend way too much money on it.
You need it.
We're using the Mitchell so little that we're talking about getting rid of it.
Well, that's kind of what we did we were All Data. Mitchell came in. I paid for both platforms for 3 years, and the guys liked the Mitchell, so I got away with. I did away
All
with
Data better now.
At that time, Mitchell was better. I like the tiles. I like the layout. And I'm an app AutoCare. It integrates with TechMetric, blah, blah, blah.
All Data integrates with TechMetric.
I'm giving your sponsor a fucking plug.
Doesn't All Data integrate with TechMetric? TechMetric integrates with everybody because they're like the freaking 2001 Thundercat of shop management systems. It is the king. And no shop management system, no snowmobile was ever faster than the 2001 Thundercat until in 2017, Arctic Cat produced yet a faster Thundercat. So the only thing that could beat it was itself.
See, now you're going to age me. I thought when you said Thundercats was that freaking cartoon.
No, this is 998 cubic centimeters of two-stroke.
Well, you're from up there near Buffalo, New York, where you got snowmobiles.
3 miles per gallon, 180 horsepower, freaking piss missile.
The only bitch I got with TechMetric is it's like I've been after them since I signed up with them a long time ago.
All right, continue.
A drop down for the inspection month. Give me a drop down for the inspection month. It's a searchable field. That's what I want.
A drop down for the inspection month? Man, we can't even use that on Mitchell, the old covered wagon.
Are you still using Mitchell for your shop management?
Yeah, well, by the time this podcast airs, it might be different. We've been having some intense fellowship at the shop. And I think
I'm going to start using that. I like that intense fellowship.
Yeah.
We're going to have intense fellowship with that truck tomorrow.
Yeah. We've been having some intense fellowship, and I don't think Mitchell's going to stand the test of time. I mean, it was a good thing for where we were at, but we ain't there no more, and it's time to move on to modern. It's time to act like we
tracks for 16 years.
You switched to TechMetric. Ooh, tell me about this. Tell me about your switch from tracks to TechMetric.
So back in the 80s, we got the, what was it? Auto Shop Writer was one of the earliest DOS programs and then we became an AutoCare Center, and then Tracks came out. We became an AutoCare Center in 97. And I was leery about switching. I'm kind of old. I don't like change.
Sure.
And we switched to Tracks, and I think I went in there for like 2 weeks straight every night just to learn it.
Just clicking around trying to figure stuff out.
Yep. So Tracks was great. Don't get me wrong. At that time, Tracks was pretty good. But they kept talking about this new update coming. 10 years I heard about this update coming. They release it. We waited 10 years for this. Now, don't get me wrong. Tracks was good. I got used to it, but I'm like you just said, Brian. I wanted something more modern with this. I could be out of the shop. I don't have to have a I spent 20 grand on upgrading my server and PCs just so I could have tracks.
Yeah.
Because they needed to live on a server.
Yeah.
But with like Techmetric and stuff where you can be anywhere and
constantly
log in and see everything that's going on.
We're constantly dealing with three individual buildings running different Mitchells. We are constantly dealing with IT issues, trying to make it all work. And my head hurts, man. I'm just ready to be like, anything that can connect to the internet can run this thing. That's what I'm ready to be on. And that's what Techmetric is.
I recorded with Sunil and PJ at Vision, and they were talking about some of the features that they're working on and some of where they see, how rapidly technology is evolving right now, where they see SMS as being in 18 to 24 months. It's pretty fucking crazy what's coming. And
oh yeah,
pretty awesome.
PJ's a good guy to know too, man. He's awesome.
They're both good dudes. So, Sunil was a doctor before he got a shop in Houston, and then wrote the software. And so after they showed me a video of some of the features that they've got in the works, like they've got a couple of beta testers running them, and I said, one, this is bullshit that I'm not a beta tester. I want that. Two, are you familiar with the term priapism? And PJ looked at me like, what? And Sunil laughed heartily. So he's a doctor. He got the joke. So
gosh. You know why you're not a beta tester, Mike?
Don't Google image search that.
Do you know why you're not a beta tester?
Because they don't like me enough.
Because you're always sitting around talking about how you don't like technical stuff.
That might actually play into it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
They just released it was Cash Drawer. I didn't even dive into it, but that just came out today.
For my service advisors who do end of day paperwork and can't count or do addition, that was a great benefit.
I've had people, the girls that I've hired to take care of the front counter, say, okay, when you get a bunch of cash, you got to reconcile the drawer. What's that? So I showed them. There's $50 in that cash drawer. Everything else, you pull all the tickets, you give it to me, and then I will make the deposit. They just come back and they hand it to me. I'm like, did you reconcile the drawer? Well, yeah. Here's all the cash for that. I'm like, is there $50 in that cash drawer? I go out and I look at it. Nope. They didn't fuck it. Like, how hard is it to make change? Oh my God.
Things are hard, man. You don't understand, Brett. Working on cars is hard. Just talking about trucking's hard.
Went through the drive-thru yesterday. My total was $16.22. I gave the cashier at the window a $20 bill, 2 dimes, and 2 pennies.
You should be locked up.
They couldn't make change.
You old bastard. Lock you up.
Repeatedly tried to give me the 22 cents back because she didn't need it. And
I'd have thrown it in your effing window. Take that.
I did that.
Just give me $4. Just give me $4.
Take that, you old bastard.
I did that. But it was like to make the even coin instead of the pennies. And it was a young girl standing there, and I gave her, and she gives me the change back, and I'm like, that's not right. She goes, what do you mean? I said, it's not right. So she's sitting there and she's writing it. She hands it back to me. I go, that's not right. I said, try it again. She got her calculator out and still couldn't figure it out. I said, if you can't do it by now,
are you one of them people that always carries 57 cents in your pocket because it's like the perfect amount of coin change to have?
I carry quarters, nickels, dimes, and pennies, yes. And I will make change.
Yeah.
I will make even change.
Oh, gosh.
Will I fuck you up, too, if I do that, Brian?
No, man. It's just life is too short. I just can't. Just freaking tap your phone. Like, just be like, here you go. There you go. I made exact change, too. Tap.
I hardly have cash, but when I do, I want to make cash.
I am the most uncultured person on the face of the planet. They call me rural dro, like Jeepers Creepers. Like just tap your phone, Brett. Just grab your Google Wallet. I don't have that on my group. I don't have that on my phone. I'm too old. Oh my gosh.
I think that is the perfect note upon which to end this episode.